Kio is a completely average, almost boring high schooler with nothing special about his life at all. One day, as Kio is attending the funeral of a relative, he comes across a strange yet beautiful alien cat girl named Eris, who becomes a huge part of his life from that day. Being from the planet Catian, her mission is to learn as much as possible about human life, working as the Catians' representative. But being an alien, she's hunted by multiple secret organizations who are out to capture and cage this beautiful creature. But, promising to protect her, Kio and Eris begin their exciting adventures together, running from these shady organizations. Kio is your typical high school student, getting through life and enjoying his summer break. Well, except for the funeral of a relative during this time. While speaking to his uncle Yuichi at the funeral, Kio meets a strange person at the dinner table, a cat girl. She introduces herself as Eris and tells him all about how she ended up here. Feeling extremely nervous due to the girl's beauty, Kio takes a quick sip from a cup his uncle had filled. Forgetting it contained alcohol though, he instantly passes out. The next morning, Kio is in for another surprise when he wakes up. Eris is laying naked in his bed. Accidentally grabbing her boob, Kio is both freaked out and nervous until Eris explains how she ended up there. Following this incident, he heads downstairs. There, he's greeted by his neighbor Monami, a childhood friend of Kio. Soon after, his teacher, Ms. Itakazu, also arrives to discuss a school event. While they both make pervy assumptions about what happened between Kio and Eris last night, Eris herself comes downstairs. At once, the two women begin checking her out, unable to believe that she's a real cat girl. After a conversation between all of them where Eris explains that she's an alien and why she's here, Monami and Ms. Itakazu both head out. Unknown to Kio, they are both leaving to report to their bosses as they work for different organizations which want to capture Eris for the fact that she's an alien. Later, when he's out of town, we see Kio bump into another friend, Futaba. While sounding very shy, she manages to ask him out on a date. She's interrupted by her uncle driving up to them and offering her a ride home. During the car ride, she reveals herself and the fake uncle to be members of another organization like the ones after Eris. The driver hands her an envelope with her latest mission: to kill Eris and Kio. Ms. Itakazu's organization Beautiful Contact are unwilling to accept the world's first contact with aliens being with creatures as ridiculous as cat girls. Monami, on the other hand, is working with the CIA to gain experience, and Futaba is a special fighting agent for the Japanese military. All three of these groups spy on Eris and Kio throughout their day as they go around town. The two are also followed by little robot helpers made by aliens, assist droids. The pair eventually go to the library to help complete Eris's main duty here on Earth, to learn about the culture so she can share it with her own world's people. When they leave the library much later in the day, they are attacked by Beautiful Contact. Even though Kio tries to defend Eris, he can't do much and is knocked to the ground. Right as he's about to be shot, Futaba switches sides and rushes in to save her friend. She manages to defeat Beautiful Contact, but right when things seem to be calming down, a flash bomb goes off and Monami captures Eris. As this is happening, Uncle Yuichi also arrives and saves Kio and the assist droids from the situation, driving off with them in his truck. The two decide to go save Eris without argument. They break into Beautiful Contact's base after getting a tip from Monami, who Kio had realized was at the fight. Making the members take them to the secret base where Eris is, the uncle and nephew duo break in and start setting off explosives that Yuichi is revealed to have. He's a mystery, honestly. Kio manages to reach the place where Eris is trapped, only to find out she has already defeated all the enemies there. Outside, Yuichi thinks he's done for as the enemies have found and cornered him when Monami and Futaba show up to save him. It seems that all of Kio's friends have decided to take his side, even Ms. Itakazu, who give him and Eris a ride. They're all quick to reunite and escape the base, having a final fight against a bunch of tanks which Eris easily destroys with the help of the assist droids. The next day, Eris tells Kio that her job here is done, so she'll be leaving. Before that, though, she offers to mate with him, admitting that she likes the kind of person he is and would be happy to be with him. And just before any fan service can happen, Monami rushes in and tells them to check the news, revealing something very strange. Eris's whole mothership has arrived. With the arrival of Eris's co-workers and boss, they begin to talk with the government of Japan. The aliens are hoping to form an alliance with the people of Earth, so their two races can learn from each other and live peacefully. But the talks are happening in swimsuits, an idea from Eris, who has been influenced by Kio's adult magazines. As they all return to Kio's house after the talks have ended, Monami and Futaba show up as well. They're here to say goodbye to Kio before running away. They tell him that their organizations are now after them due to their betrayal, so they must now hide. The cat girls, known as Catians, however, tell them there's another way. The two can simply live with Kio since his house is now registered as a Catian embassy. With the status of his house, no violation against anyone there is allowed, so the two of them will be perfectly safe. Meanwhile, a dog girl is seen in a meeting with Japanese government members. She reveals herself as an alien from Dogizia, another planet, and an enemy of Catia. Later that night, having finished with their move-in, both the girls share a bath and discuss their feelings for Kio when an intruder alert goes off. The two race out straight from the bath with their weapons, forgetting that they're still naked, and catch the intruders before they can escape with an assist droid. Unfortunately, they manage to set off a flash bomb and escape before the girls can find anything out. Kio isn't far behind and gets a full view of both girls when he catches up with them, causing Monami to start attacking the helpless boy. Next day, Monami gets a call from the woman who was her boss in the CIA, Jack. Through her, Monami finds out the intruders weren't from her or Futaba's organizations, but someone else entirely. There's a new organization on the scene now, the underside of the Kitten Paw. This is made up of thousands of people who pretty much worship cat ears and tails. Upon learning about Eris, they believe her to be their god and make plans to capture and keep her with them. Over with Kio and the others, Eris has a new task for the day. She must go to Tokyo and learn about all the things humans do for fun. As she goes through a mall buying plenty of toys and comics, Futaba, Monami, and Kio are all distracted by items of their own interests, ending up spending all their money. At the train station later, Futaba thinks the place seems weird since there are no people around at all despite it being a Sunday. Going to investigate, she tells the others to board the train but soon realizes the train was a trap itself. Eris and Kio were kidnapped from it by the Kitten Paw. Futaba and Monami reunite and head to one of the safe houses of Futaba's organization to get a car. While doing this, they speak to Jack on the phone and learn about the Kitten Paw organization, their leader, and where she is holding their friends. While Kio and Eris are held on the ship known as Andralago, Futaba and Monami continue looking for a way to rescue them. Going to a weapons store, they run into Yuichi and learn of a powerboat they can use. Finding out it belongs to a friend of Yuichi, they head off to where it's kept. Upon reaching the boat, they spend the night upgrading it with weapons for their plan. Over in the Andralago, Eris and Kio are kept busy with food and games. Eris is playing with a stranger in an assist droid costume, while Kio learns the owner of this organization has no friends, seeing that all the games are single player. The next morning, the girls steal the powerboat from where it's parked and head to the Andralago. Breaking into the ship, Monami and Futaba split up. Monami heads up to find their friend while Futaba goes to the engine room to stop the ship. But right as she does so, she's attacked by a strange woman, the dog girl, who has her hands in the government. Though the woman is mostly stronger than Futaba and has dog assist droids as backup, Futaba manages to hit a weak spot on her armor and get away. Higher up in the ship, Monami has found Eris and Kio. She is running with them to an exit when they get stopped by the Kitten Paw founder, Antonia. Kio realizes she was the person in the assist droid costume who had been playing games with him and Eris during their time on the ship. While it is difficult, Kio talks her into letting them leave. Rescuing Futaba from the engine room where she had collapsed, Kio escapes the ship running. On the mothership of the Catians, Catia ship, Eris's team are checking the records from the fight between Futaba and the dog girl. Also, they're all in a sauna while doing this. Don't ask why, they just are. Through this recording, they realize that Dogisia must be dealing with Earth's organizations/governments illegally in the background. This is because their violent ways got them banned from making direct contact with other races by the Arsonians, the peacekeepers/police of the universe. Down on Earth, Futaba and Monami are teaching each other how to shoot and how to make Kio like them respectively. Because of the loudness of the shooting though, Kio bans it in his yard before he and Eris head to his school to shoot a movie for his club. Needing a new place for both of their training, a member of Eris's team, Chaika, talks to them. She takes them to a special simulation room on their ship that can create anything they can think of. Here, Futaba thinks of a kitchen and someone like Kio to taste her cooking, and immediately these thoughts become real. So she begins her cooking lesson with a fake Kio as her tester. Meanwhile, Monami ends up having a talk about her feelings with another fake Kio of her imagination. The same night, the girls learn that the Kios created by the room only told them whatever they wanted to hear, not necessarily the truth. Summer vacation for Kio is over, and today is the day the new semester starts. As he sits in his classroom before the school day begins, the teacher introduces a bunch of new transfer students: Eris, Antonia, and her bodyguards. The large group of Kio, Eris, Futaba, Monami, Antonia, and her bodyguards draw a lot of attention later as they're leaving school. The members of Kio's club are the only ones brave enough to come close because of the bodyguards having guns. Upon hearing from them of a school trip Kio is going on with his club, all of the girls sign themselves up to join him for their own reasons. The next day, the club drives to a beach in limos arranged by Antonia. As everyone changes into their swimsuits, the girls all end up borrowing ones that Antonia had brought for Eris, as they're extra cute and fancy. When the girls go outside and see the extreme reaction of the boys to their outfits, they realize something highly embarrassing. These swimsuits all have a tail hole in them for Eris, and they've been flashing the boys their butts. After taking some time to get over that incident, they all have a relaxing day of fun. They swim out in the sea, learning more about filming, have barbecue for dinner, and just generally enjoy themselves. The day doesn't end as relaxingly though, because soon after dinner, they're attacked. The dog assistroids from the battle on the Androlago washed up around here and have been stealing electronics to repair themselves. Luckily, with Futaba's help and some items given to her by a strange woman named Ichika, the cat assistroids defeat the dogs, allowing the club to relax once more. The underside of the kitten paw are gathered once again for an announcement. Antonia appears on the massive display in the stadium where they're gathered to speak to her followers. With the help of Eris, she is trying to turn down the religious side of the organization and make them into more of a fan club. The two of them both speak to the members to try and make this happen. Meanwhile, Kio, Futaba, and Monami are in the Catians training room. Futaba is teaching Kio how to fight, something that he asked her to do previously. Monami decides to give them some alone time and goes back to Kio's house to relax. Futaba follows her after training Kio some more and is upset by what she sees as Monami's lazy attitude towards training. Worried about her ability to survive in future fights, she takes Monami out in the mountainside with her for a training battle. As the two have an intense battle in the mountain's woods, destroying more and more of each other's clothes and exposing their bodies with the Catian antimatter guns, Monami eventually wins. Right as the duel ends, though, both girls are attacked by a sniper. They take cover in the trees so they can figure out where their attackers are, forming a plan to take them out. Monami heads into the open and acts as bait, the attackers revealing their position when they take a shot at her. Futaba closes in on them after this quickly and defeats them, accidentally also stripping them naked as her bullets are antimatter. As the girls head home, they all share a dinner made by Kio. During dinner, Monami finally gets Futaba to call him by his first name. A new day begins in Kio and his friends' lives. Today, they're hosting the first ever assistroid created, Lowry, on her visit to Earth. As she spends the day with them and all the assistroids who see her as their grandmother, Kio ends up talking with Eris about her origins. He learns that assistoids in Lowry's time were treated very badly by Catians. Even the reason for their design changing to little mute robots from more android-like beings was to change their relationship with them. Lowry doesn't care about this though, having had a kind and caring master. That night, she has them take her to the beach where she looks up at the night sky and sings her master's favorite song, missing the now dead Catian. Back to the present, a Christmas time nears. All the members of Kio's home are making their own preparations for the holiday. Even up on the Catia ship, Eris's team have been allowed to exchange gifts with their human friends. The captain of Eris's team, Kuune, is having dinner at Kio's home when she brings out a gift for him, a power suit he can wear to fight alongside his friends. As they discuss the need for him to have such a thing, though, Kio's house is attacked by Catian assistoids. While they deal with the enemies there, Catia's ship has been attacked as well. Catian assistoids have broken in, and after freezing all the normal crew members in time, they are damaging important parts of the ship. Back in Kio's home, they've managed to beat the dogs, but Kuune has been injured. With her unconscious, Kio and Eris take a call from the Catia ship. Eris's team members tell them that the actions of the dogs have sabotaged the ship. It will now crash into the Earth in just 2 weeks. After the attack on Kio's house, Yuichi and Ms. Itokazu have arrived to help as well. While they discuss the situation with the main crew of Catia's ship who are still safe, they find out that Kuune made Kio the ship's new captain before falling. He now has the ability to command the ship's systems, which mean he can reverse its direction if he gets on board. Since Eris's ship was destroyed by the dogs too, they contact Antonia, who agrees to get a rocket for them, and Ichika gives them a seal that will remove the time freeze applied by the dogs on the ship's crew. Unfortunately, the news about Catia's ship has spread across the world, and nobody is willing to sell a rocket anymore. Eris quickly tells them that they only really need an engine. Kuune's tools, which are now with Kio, can create a rocket themselves as long as the parts are present. The group head over to a contact of Antonia who can get them such an engine in Russia. Here, Kio takes his time using Kuune's tools to create a ship, but is captured by a Russian soldier. Luckily, Futaba defeats him before he can do anything. They soon find out, though, that NATO itself is coming to destroy the base they're in, driving Kio to quickly finish the rocket. With the rocket completed, Kio, Eris, Futaba, and Monami board it, ready to take off. While their rocket is being fueled, Antonia's comrades and the assistoids work together to delay the NATO forces coming for them. Thanks to this, they're able to take right off. Right above Earth, the girls realize that this could be their last chance to confess to Kio. Taking a massive skip in the steps to do this, Monami goes straight to kissing the life out of Kio. Driven to follow her example, Futaba and Eris both also take their turns kissing him, officially forming his harem. Right as this happens, the Catians start attacking their rocket. Seeing no other option, the girls put on spacesuits and leave the ship on space bikes. They go on to fight the Catians so Kio can make it to Catia's ship alone. As he arrives on the ship, their plan succeeds without a hitch. The crew is freed and the ship's system is restarted, taking it off its course for Earth. Although there is a complication with that last part. Over with the girls, defeating the Catians made their space station fall towards Earth on a direct crash course. In order to stop it from harming their home, they use all the fuel in their suits to steer the station away. This almost causes them to die, but Kio returns in their rocket at the last moment, saving them. With the group reunited, they notice something crazy. Kio has been turned into a Catian. As they go back down to Earth, he explains how he had to change his DNA to a Catian's for Catia's ship to accept his commands. With the world saved and the friends all together, they celebrate the arrival of Christmas, happy as ever. The end.